Hey guys, Alex and Dan from 7th Hour Films back again with Doctor Who Classic. Last time around we had State of Decay. What was that one about?
Well, one of the best scripts that we've seen since City of Death. It seemed to be a semi-historical, even though it was set on another planet. The TARDIS crew lands on this planet that only seems to have one habitable spot on it, and they initially seem to have a very medieval style of civilization, but then it turns out that the leaders have been alive for 1,000 years, and they're controlling the slave population or the peasant population. But then the castle turns out to be a spaceship, and the Doctor realizes that the three leaders are space vampires, and relates the story about how the Time Lords had a huge war with all the vampires and wiped them out throughout the universe except for the one who got away, which apparently is the one who landed on this planet. And they ultimately managed to kill him by firing one of the, I guess, booster rockets or something, and then when it falls back to Earth, it stabs the Great One through the heart, and he dies. And also, they discovered that Adric has stowed away with him, although he didn't really play much of a part. He got kidnapped for a bit, and he was going to be the chosen one, which we never really quite figured out what they meant by that.
He was going to be the fourth vampire, basically. The fourth person to be turned into a vampire, because the three of them were originally from Earth. Everybody there was originally from Earth, and the king of the vampires dragged all of them into E-Space, because that's where he was hiding from the Time Lord. Turned the three of them into vampires. The rest, eventually became the peasants, and multiple generations later, that's where we get to the peasants that we had in the present day. But Adric was supposed to be the fourth of the vampires because of his mathematical excellence.
Okay.
So,
I guess I must have missed that.
Yeah, and they wouldn't have they wouldn't have tried to turn the Doctor or Romana, because they are Time Lords. They are the natural enemies of vampires. So, yeah.
But they were going to kill Romana. They had her as a sacrifice of some kind.
Yeah, they were going to sacrifice her to the Great One, basically. So, yeah. Which I don't know if that would have done anything, or if it was just a symbolic, sacrificing the great enemies of the vampires. So,
wouldn't she regenerate?
I mean, it depends. That's the answer I always get from comments is, it depends. Like, I always ask, well, if they're shot point blank in their head, would they regenerate? And the answer most times is no, to which I respond, then what's the point of the regeneration anyway? But I imagine if she's, eaten and lost her blood or digested for 1,000 years in the Sarlacc pit, maybe she'll regenerate? But she still has to get out of that situation.
Yeah.
So, but then there's a lot of modern Doctor Who nonsense of how you can do that. It doesn't matter. So, I don't know. I don't even know if they still haven't fully figured out regenerate. It's only recently that they even dropped it's regeneration. But what does that mean exactly? I'm not even sure if they still really know. It's like, regeneration, it's a way of getting a new actor. Yeah, I think that's basically it. So yeah, today we are on Warrior's Gate. We are still making our way through E-Space in this strange little story arc we have, where we start off on a strange, Neolithic civilization, but they also have a spaceship. Then we went to medieval vampires in space, and now who knows what we'll get in E-Space. It's a very strange place we're in, so... that's basically it. You got anything else?
No, I was just going to say, if our noses seem to be sniffling a lot this week, about 4 days ago, it was 40 degrees and heavy rain, and today it's 90 degrees and very dry. I mean, approaching back to drought conditions here in central Oklahoma. So
yeah, it's pretty bad, and you haven't yet complained about the ceiling fan being on its highest level.
Yeah, not today.
Yeah, so I'm glad, because I turned it on because I was hot already, and I was like, okay, today's the day when we need a full ceiling fan, which just vaguely catches on the microphone, because of how powerful it is, it just vaguely hits it, but I don't think anybody notices. So yeah, with that, why don't we jump into Warrior's Gate? Here we go.
8.
Was that one long shot?
Yeah,
7.
it's still going.
That's weird. Said Kilroy was here.
60.
That was from World War II, if I recall correctly.
Ignition!
We have liftoff.
Now we'll have to see, show us where we're going. Right. High tension cable. We'll run into his feet point. That ought to boost him.
Kill him, more like.
Always looking on the gloomy side, Packard.
You'll kill him.
You, not bad. Connect the cable and switch on.
I'm pretty sure this is the plot of Dune.
Well, it's...
We've got to do something.
Have we?
What do you mean?
Maybe that's it.
What, drifting?
The way out of East Space.
It's like a finger trap. Stop trying.
We'll lose it. Typical Packard, always thinking of your bonus. Sagan, Kilroy, take him below and get him fixed up.
So Kilroy was here.
Yeah, he still is.
Time wins.
Oh, not again.
Portable mass detector. Aldo! Royce! Break it out from the stores, will you?
Let's have the keys then.
I'll give them to you.
It's non-stop, Aldo. Non-stop.
I could take a whole episode just of those two.
Remind me of the two guys from the Hostile Seaweed episode.
Nope.
No?
Nope. I don't remember.
Two guys who bickered back and forth like that.
The shadow of my past and of your future.
Shadow of his past.
Our future.
Alright then. Bye.
Okay.
You know how I said that the E-Space stories were really, really interesting? Can't took a nosedive after vampires.
Oh, look, it's bigger on the inside.
Of course, with how they showed it, I didn't know if there was an inside.
This is the Beast's castle, and the skeleton was Belle's father.
Oh. It's gonna stay on you for like a year.
Somebody got into the good stuff.
Yeah.
This is Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds.
You know, I made a reference to Dune. And this is about as confusing as Dune is. So, from what I understand, and let it be known, I am not an expert on Dune in the slightest. I have been told things about Dune and seen the first movie that came out a couple years back. But in that, I think there's something like artificial intelligence was banned or something, meaning, like, you know how on normal shows, even on this show, you punch in coordinates and your computer, you just fly there. And in Dune, they can't do that. They can't rely on computers. So they have a dude get high on the spice, and then he uses his highness to get them across the universe. And that seems to be what's happening with Barack Obama. I don't know what is... Yeah. He was either Baroque as the Baroque period or Barack as in Obama. And neither of which are the proper spelling for either of those.
Well, remember, as Cogsworth says in Beauty and the Beast, if it ain't Baroque, don't fix it.
Yeah. So, what I did get out of this is this is the intersection between E-space and N-space. So, presumably, if we get through this will close out the E-space arc of the show. We'll be back in our universe, and Adric will just have to deal with it, and Romana will have to deal with Gallifrey.
Now, it makes me wonder, when they started this whole arc, in trying to name the two universes, it seems more logical that this universe would be N-space because it's negative, but then somebody says, no, we can't have the other because that would be P-space.
Yeah, so... Or if they had gone with, like, plus space and minus space, or it's, I don't know. So, yeah. I was glad that at first I thought Adric pressing that button on the console, I thought that was going to solve their problems, and I was thinking, alright, if that happens, Adric is going to be a little too Gary Stu for my liking, but... I don't even think he did anything, really. So, yeah.
What to make... I mean, seriously. We have a group of what appear to be, again, Earthlings on a vessel. We still don't know what they were doing.
Yeah.
Did I mention what their mission was?
No. Just something about bonuses.
So, they're obviously a cargo ship of some kind, then. They have apparently a whole bunch of guys like Barack who they're keeping in suspended animation, at least from what we heard. And they are saying, once we take Barack out, we'll just grab another one and, less of a bonus or something like that. Barack manages to get out of the ship somehow and walk across wherever they are, the intersection. It's a crosswalk. Enters the TARDIS, even though no one's ever been able to enter the TARDIS.
Something about the time winds. Well, I guess that was when Adric pushed the button, so I guess Adric accidentally opened the door for him. And then the time winds came in and destroyed K9, because they just don't like K9 anymore.
But, so Barack came in, obviously knew something about the TARDIS, or knew something about its function because he made some calculations, said, don't believe those who come after me, and then he disappeared. Did not go back to his own ship, however. He goes to the castle in space, which is larger on the inside than it is on the outside. And the Doctor is then, at the end, being stalked by a couple of what should have been empty suits of armor, but now apparently are, Darth Vader clones. In the meantime, you got Abbott and Costello, who don't want to do any work, and are being told to, and I can't tell if one of them or both of them were there trying to get into the TARDIS with their little gigantic little machine, whatever it was.
Yeah.
The thing that he was carrying on his chest.
I think it was just one of them.
And perhaps setting up the end of the season, Romana saying she does not want to, she said this before, she does not want to go back to Gallifrey.
Yeah.
So maybe she's trying to find some place to offload herself where she wouldn't have to go back.
Yeah, because honestly... I was thinking it's like she doesn't want to go back to Gallifrey. I'm not sure she wants to stay with the Doctor anymore, though.
Yeah.
Like, and to her credit, because I would say she's getting way more frustrated more often. And to her credit, she has to deal with a lot of the Doctor's crap. Yeah. And just the constant weirdness and gaslighting and just everything. And it's a strange thing, but...
And again, the the first Romana seemed to be able to deal with that a lot better. Now, I don't think the Doctor's being any weirder than he always is, but again, this version of Romana seems to be, like you said, more frustrated, more aggravated by him than the original.
I mean, it could be that with the first Romana, they at least just had a purpose. They knew they had a mission they had to do, and the TARDIS was always going to take them to the key to time. And here it's like, there have been fine moments. I'm sure it's getting lost in E-space is now starting to wear on her a lot, on top of not wanting to return to Gallifrey. So, but yeah, I don't know. But yeah, and again, to her credit, I get why she's frustrated. So yeah. And I guess the castle is it's the castle at the intersection of two universes.
It's the restaurant at the end of the universe.
Yeah, that was kind of my idea. It's like, that's just where it is, it's, I guess it's like, what was that one, which episode was that? Was it like Planet of Evil or something, where there was like a planet on the edge of the universe that was about to go into like the world of antimatter or something like that. So I guess this could be it, is that this is just... Now granted, if that's the case, why is it not a fully formed castle and not just the front door? And then if you go inside, the rest of the castle is there? I don't know. How is there like breathable air at the intersection? I don't know.
So many questions.
Okay.
No answers. At least so far.
Yeah, so let's move on to part 2. Ooh. This went up to rated 13 plus instead of rated PG. Huh.
It's a ship.
What, for midgets?
Or a coffin for a very large man.
That looks like a young Peter Ustinov.
Let's bust it
I don't think that's either of them are the two clowns on the ship. They go around the spider webs.
Actually, I think those are considered cobwebs, which are different from spider webs.
Either way, go around.
What, trust them? Remember what Birrock said?
And why believe Birrock?
Because he was running. Keep your eyes on the screen.
Well, then what are we going to do?
I'll go. If they're all right, I'll give you a signal, and you can come out. If not, stay put. Especially if I do this.
That's the other part of her frustration, is dealing with Adric.
My team. Best drill you can get. Efficient as anything on the spaceways, isn't that right, lads? Yeah. Isn't that right, lads?
Yes, Captain!
This is a democratic ship, right? So I want to hear now from anyone who has any different ideas. What in the name of all that's sacred, then?
So I guess basically they're just a big like fuel truck, but they ran out of fuel.
It's not a time picture.
Go on, then. Oh, well, we better leave it at them.
How do you know so much about it? You seen it done before?
No, not on a ship. Something usually goes wrong. They don't like it.
Yeah, because it means their bonus is up a spiral.
But we're on the all-in contract. Switch it off!
It's
Switch it
alive.
off!
Oh geez, POV.
Did we say anything in that episode?
I think I said one thing.
Holy moly.
Well, at the very least, there's a way out of E-space, but there's something about the Gundans who were made for an empire, who made the gateway, in and out of E-space and N-space. And I guess this is somehow related to the species of cowardly lions who can make their way through space. And I guess they're similar to Time Lords because Romana has similar time abilities. She's time sensitive, as they said.
It usually means it's going to expire soon.
Yeah. And yes. Moving on.
Seriously. This is weird.
Well, for those of you who don't like it when, even though I don't think this is anybody, but for those of you who don't like it when we talk too much between episodes, not a problem this time. Not a problem. All we've done is enter 1981 and nothing makes any sense anymore. So, oof. At least like the one thing that doesn't make this episode a total bust is the very rare bits of humor.
Yeah.
Every so often there's a funny line or just a funny moment. So,
back to the old damsel in distress mode.
yeah.
She's already seen one, so unless this guy is really...
He got a bit fried.
The time wind's positively blasted him. Can he pass through the mirror?
When the time is right.
Newton's third law of motion, action and reaction are equal and opposite.
Meanwhile, Adric's just trying to find the plot.
I don't remember the I Ching being about a coin, but about 6 different sticks that had varying stripes on them. And you shook them up, and how they landed would give you a pattern that you could then look up for the answer.
Aww.
J9.
Meanwhile, on this green screen,
Must be crossing the striations of the timelines.
yeah, that's it.
It's Ahab. There shall come a day when you shall smell land where there be no land. And on that day Ahab will go to the grave, but he will rise again within the hour and beckon, and all will follow, all save one.
Yeah, the guy that doesn't know what's happening.
Stay in the center, Tom. You're blending in with the scenery.
I mean, it really looks like he's not there.
Right. Close the doors.
Why don't you use the phone on the other side of the door? Punch him.
Get K9 back to the dump! Go for the gate!
Good job. And there they go.
My goodness. You live like kings.
Chilled monkey brains.
We are kings.
This is no way to run an empire.
Danger, the doctor's in danger. Doctor!
Well, Doctor, this is a surprise.
Oh my god, this story sucks. I don't know what's happening at all.
Oh, Lord. Okay, so up until 90 seconds ago, we thought the lion guys were the good guys, but apparently they're not.
No, they were once an empire that ruled the universe somehow, and now the Doctor and Romana are going through multiple times, and also this motley crew is here, and
all right. Now, also, K9 said something bad is happening.
There's some sort of like mass anomaly, he said.
I'm wondering, because the last 2 times they went out to the castle and then came back to the ship, they kept saying something about it seemed like it was shorter this time.
Yeah. So I guess maybe it's all the gateway is collapsing in on itself.
That's kind of what I was thinking there.
Yeah.
And apparently only K9 understands what's happening.
Yeah.
Because the lion guys, what are they? Gangnam Style.
No, they're the Tharls.
Tharls, yeah.
The Gundams are the robots?
Robot warriors?
Question mark, that they created and I guess then rebelled against their masters.
Okay.
It's really not good.
I think this universe can't collapse on itself soon enough.
Yeah. Last episode, you asked about the writer, Terrence Dix, and I did look up, because I knew we've had his name before. He used to be the main, script editor, actually, for a lot of the older Fourth Doctor stuff. So, that's why that episode was so good. Yeah. And then this newcomer, I don't know about this. But, I mean, just because he's a newcomer doesn't mean it's bad, because apparently, Full Circle, the writer of that was only 17 at the time.
Huh.
So, and he's done, I think people have said he's done a lot of stuff for Big Finish, but they never brought him back to do another actual Doctor Who episode. Huh. So, wish he wrote this one.
Because, I mean, seriously, it up until we realized that, and I'm hoping that's what it is. Oh, look, with the void collapsing around them. Oh, cool, we should have read that before.
I guess.
Anyway, so that appears to be the overarching thing, is that the Doctor and the TARDIS and his people have to get out because this whole gateway between N-space and E-space is about to collapse.
Last episode when I said, when we do the tier list of all of them, I said, we're not really going to get anything, we're not really going to put any episodes in the awful tier list. We may have a contender here. Let's move on to part 4. Also, okay, because now we're back to rated TVG. What was so, bad about that other episode that turned it to 13+?
Was it the burned guy, his burned face or something? I don't know.
I feel like we've had a lot worse on Doctor Who than that.
Or the, use of the axes.
Can I have one of your pickles? I had a rush lunch.
All right. Why not? It's his last meal.
Well, that goes for all of us.
Wasn't a pickle.
No.
Yes, soon.
Where'd she get the
We
chopsticks?
won't be better off than that chap over there.
So what you're saying is the distances are getting shorter.
Like between the ship and here.
Yes, as the domain contracts.
Shut up! He's playing for time. Time's run out for you, Doctor.
Hello, Bitter.
Doctor, you've seen our past. You've seen our present. You were right. We abused our power.
I guess they used to
Judge
be
whether
bad.
we've not suffered enough.
They got better.
As you said.
I can't stand a lot of that. Funny you signed on with Roving. Light duties is what he said. It'll all end in tears, mark my words.
You know where that's from?
No.
That's from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. That's what the robot says. This is all going to end in tears.
Honestly, can we keep those two? Can they be the new companions?
This is the end for all of you. I'm finally getting something done.
Gone round the bend.
Mm-hmm.
inside. That's an order.
No more orders, Doctor. Goodbye.
What a moment to choose.
But it is, isn't it? The moment to choose. I've got to be my own Romana.
And we need a Time Lord.
Goodbye, Doctor.
No,
For what?
Wait, there's something else. K9. He'll be all right with you behind the mirrors.
I'll take care of him.
I'll miss you. You were the noblest Romana of them all.
Oh, Doctor.
Well, if the E-space image translator doesn't work, I'm hoping we're in N-space.
Back in your own universe.
Yes.
Can you be sure?
Did I say sure?
I feel bad. Now
Yes.
he's stuck with
What
Adric.
good solid hopes with a cartload of certainties.
Will Romana be all right?
All right. She'll be superb.
That was awful. That
As an old friend of mine once said, we saw a really horrible movie called Orca. It was the killer whale ripoff of the Jaws movie. And when it came to an end, she literally stood up and just said, "What a piece of crap."
oh.
Okay.
So
Wow. Okay, so and I can't even remember if this was episode 3 or episode 4. So when he went back to the feast, and they were talking about how they were the enslavers, that was in the past, because Barak was now saying, well, we don't do that anymore, and we need to...
yeah.
Okay, that's very...
So the Doctor was taken back in time to see the Tharls past as the enslavers of the universe, now showing the juxtaposition of them being enslaved by this random crew and wherever they come from, I guess. So,
My brain hurts.
So now, for some reason, they need a Time Lord and K9
To help them navigate.
Yes. Or maybe they need a TARDIS because it's functionally better than whatever Dune crap they were doing in this. I would like to apologize to Dune, by the way.
Wow.
Because Dune wishes it was this confusing. So because of that, K9 knows how to make a TARDIS, so Romana will use K9 to make a TARDIS, and then her, K9, and Barak will all go and free the other Tharls who are enslaved across whatever universe.
They're still in
And-
E-space, though, aren't they?
I guess. Yeah, so all of them who have been enslaved across E-space, who we didn't see for the last 3 episodes, you'd think a vampire would love these guys. You'd think the vampires stuck in E-space would have loved having a Tharl, but no. And so they will go do that, and we're just going to hope that the Tharls don't become an enslaving empire again. And I guess it's vaguely better than Leela staying with that one random guy on Gallifrey.
And Susan staying with the random guy on Earth in 2250, whatever it was.
Yeah, and Dodo just being left without even seeing her in that episode.
She's gone off to visit her aunt. Or aunt, sorry.
She'll stay there
She'll stay there
forever.
forever.
Yeah, she sent a note to the Doctor. Bye.
And then, did you mention Stephen already?
Oh yeah, Steven's staying behind with that helping that one civilization.
Yeah. Now, Ian and Barbara got back home again.
Yes.
Although it was 2 years later.
It's 2 years later, but they had the best ending.
And Ben and Polly literally went right back to the point where they left.
Yeah,
But did they remember?
they remember.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's that weird set of like 3 different episodes that kind of all take place at the same time. But yeah, they remembered. Jamie and Zoe did not.
Got their minds wiped.
Yeah. Jamie and Zoe did not. I can't for the life of me remember what happened to Victoria.
Didn't they drop her after the sentient seaweed? They dropped her off with the family.
Oh, that's right. She was like 100 years out of time.
Yeah, and so they were going to take care of her as their own daughter.
Yeah.
And of course,
and
Katarina blown out into space.
Okay, maybe Katarina had the worst.
And no, well, who was the major who? She literally turned to dust because the time speeded up or something, and even Hartnell was trying to crawl back into the TARDIS.
Oh yeah, from the Daleks' Master Plan.
Yeah.
I don't remember what her name was, but yeah, there was that, and then moving on, they've been better than that. Liz just left back to Cambridge.
Yeah.
After that was Joe. Joe got married. That was fine. Sarah Jane got left at home.
In the wrong spot.
Yeah, in the wrong spot. And then Leela, and now Romana. Whew. I don't know if that's worth it, girl. Like, that's not... I just...
Let's just get it over with.
And the worst part is we're left with Adric. That's pretty bad.
Now, again, we know that he's been, moderately annoying in these last two serials.
He's not horrible.
So, again, because I literally know nothing about the Fifth Doctor. Obviously, Tom Baker's tenure is coming to an end in the next 2 or 3 serials here. So, Adric may get better.
From what I hear, is that he starts off okay and just gets progressively worse as time goes on. So, I don't know. I guess we've seen all the way to the end for Edric, though, but
yeah.
I don't know. It's just...
But his last act is somewhat heroic.
Yeah, it is. And honestly, we just kind of dog on Adric just because it's kind of funny, and it's the one thing we know that the fandom dogs on anyway. So he's honestly not that bad so far, but he and Romana were not a good pairing. Like, the two of them didn't really seem to get along.
Now, was Adric in Kinda? I don't remember.
Yes.
Out of the Fifth Doctor, didn't we only watch Kinda and Aftershock or Earthshock or whatever it was?
Yeah. Okay. And those are both next season. So, so at some point we'll get Nyssa and Tegan. I don't know if that's immediately in the next episode, but yeah, Adric was still prominent in both of those. So, so do you have anything to talk about to kill 10 minutes? Because I look at these notes and I don't want to think too much.
You literally, it looks right from here like you have 3 notes.
Basically, yeah. Now, part of it is for reasons I don't need to get into. I'm trying to fit 2 weeks worth of notes onto one page, which I don't normally do. So I was kind of thinking well, maybe I won't take as many notes as normal, but I just didn't, because there's nothing to
take notes on.
Yeah, so
So is this the worst Doctor Who episode ever? Can you think of anything else that was this bad? Now, we didn't care for Kinda, but that's because we didn't understand what it was about. Now that we have that basic understanding, the second time we watch it, we'll probably go, oh, okay, I can see where they were trying to go, whether they got there or not.
Yeah. Kinda, at least, I remember there was a thing of, there was, some natives, there were some weird guys in uniform going crazy, and there was a giant snake puppet thing. I remember that. If you ask me next week what this episode was about,
it was about wasting 2 hours of our lives.
The Cowardly Lion used to rule the universe.
But, on the other hand, you kind of... I had a brief thought, were they trying to conjure up perhaps a memory or an image of who's the character from The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, which I've never seen, by the way. I've heard of it. Is it Aslan or whoever the lion figure is?
Yes, something like that.
So again, I know nothing about Lion, Witch, and Wardrobe, so I have no idea where this is going. Thundercats, maybe.
Yeah, maybe, or I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, again, never watched Thundercats, so I have no idea.
But I mean, this is 1981. I don't need that. Thundercats might not have been there yet, unless they were like, oh, that Star Wars did that Chewbacca thing. We'll do that, I guess. I don't know. They ruled the universe until they didn't. I don't know what happened to them. They just didn't. So
somebody get this walking carpet out of my way.
Yeah.
All right, seriously, let's just do this.
Yeah, there were time winds.
Yeah, time winds
that didn't come back.
Fried K9's memory.
And fried the Doctor's hand. But K9's okay now because he went through the mirror. That fixes everything.
Well, of course it does.
Right. That makes sense.
That's mirror universe logic.
Yes. This is the great intersection, which would have been funny if it literally was like a crosswalk and an intersection.
But, I mean, that idea in and of itself is interesting because the two universes, the E-space and the N-space, have to intersect at some point, otherwise people could not go from one to another. So, having this interdimensional portal, this gateway, I guess they kept calling it, was a fascinating idea. It's like that pocket universe in The Doctor's Wife or whatever that was, where they went into a space where it wasn't normal. Anyway, because I can't remember if that was E-space or not.
Well, yeah.
But that's an interesting concept that could have made a really interesting couple of episodes, but these weren't it.
Yeah, because there was that one episode with like the planet of evil where like there was a creature from another universe and this was the planet. There was like a well or something that Tom Baker fell down and that brought him to the other universe or something. So,
and again, as a writer, the one thing I could say they should have done earlier in the very first episode is to have the foreshadowing that the whole thing was about to collapse. Yeah. That someone, whether it was K9 just before he got fried by the time winds, the solar winds, whatever they were, to say, danger, master, the gateway is collapsing. And then when he gets fried, people go, what is he talking about? The gateway is collapsing. And we finally find out in the third and fourth episodes that literally this entire crosswalk between the two universes is about to close down.
Yeah.
Under construction.
Yeah. I will say the story is terrible. The story is absolutely terrible. There's the little bits of comedy that were kind of good. Like those two guys. I guess those guys are dead, by the way. I guess that entire crew is dead. And the other
40 years ago, yeah.
Yeah, and
43 years ago now.
Well, I mean, just in the episode that their ship exploded and stuff.
Yeah.
And then but the Tharls were okay and had that weird after image walk into the gateway or whatever.
Yeah. But you were right. Those two guys are like that mechanic that we said we thought would have made an interesting companion.
Yeah.
Because, they're not, the Romanas and the, all the incredibly intelligent. These are just a couple of guys going, what the hell's going on here? And always trying to find some way of, taking time out and grab a snack or a cup of tea or something.
Yeah. Okay, hang on. What was last episode? Last episode was vampires, right?
Yeah.
Because I remembered because of the way we filmed these last two episodes, I literally edited the last episode yesterday. So we recorded that 2 days ago, basically. But while I was editing, I noticed the moment when the Doctor and Romana first enter the village, and even the guy there that's slightly in charge, not the vampires themselves, but the next guy, when he sort of addresses them, as lords, because he doesn't know who he is, doesn't know who they are, and kind of gives them some sort of respect, and even the vampires themselves, at first at least, are sort of hospitable, like, oh, who are these people? We're not really sure, even though we're trying to keep our sort of secret, and I enjoy that because this episode has brought us back to the problem that I really had in the second and third Doctor's eras, which is the ridiculous, insane leader trope.
Yeah.
And
I got that too, yeah.
I guess I understand that, yes, when you're in the interdimensional crosswalk that's slowly collapsing in on itself, eventually you will go crazy. I don't care. The fact that they don't listen, they never listen to K9, they don't listen to the Doctor, they just, go do this or we'll kill you. And it's like, well, kill him and then you'll just be stuck here anyway. So it's like, you kind of can't do it. It's just, I understand it, and it would all, of course, happen like that. I'm just tired of characters like that.
Yeah.
So, and you can get away with it a couple times, but that was one of the biggest problems, honestly, with, there was the Seaweed episode, which that guy was terrible.
Yeah.
And then the,
even in Inferno.
Yeah, Inferno, that, he was pretty annoying too. So it's basically just the same thing here.
Yeah.
And then, it's... What's the time? 2 hours 4? That's good enough. So, next time, we're back into End Space as we go to the Keeper of Traken. Alright, then. You know what? After that, it can only go up, I think. I hope. If it's exactly as bad, that's going to be terrible. And then, okay, which one... Why was part 2 rated as 13 plus on Amazon? Every single one of these episodes is rated TVG on Amazon, but for some reason part 2 was 13 plus. The only thing I can think is the scene where they try to revive the one Tharl, and it's just this agonizing scream and everything. But other than that, there's been a lot of stuff on this show, and I feel like they haven't done that, so I don't know. But yeah, that's basically it. And with all that being said, we're Alex and Dad from 7th Hour Films, and we will see you guys next time.
We go.
Yeah. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video, and thanks for sticking it out to the end. There's a bunch of things on screen, but I'm tired and I couldn't care about saying them, so go click on any of them.
Especially Patreon.